Hi, I'm Ambrose. I'm a former international footballer. I've played for over 14 years of professional football in India. I'm an A-licensed coach and currently I'm working as an assistant coach for the women's under 17 Indian team that is preparing for the World Cup. Well, today I'm going to speak about the family support for an athlete. What comes to my mind first is this video that I had seen a few years back. It was very motivating, and the story was about Derek Redmond, an English athlete who was favored to win a medal in the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, and midway his race, when he started off, he pulled his hamstring and he couldn't run, and he didn't give up. On that track he kept limping, and to his surprise he just found a man running next to him who jumped off the fence and got on the track, and that was his father, who got Derek's arm around his shoulder and helped him get closer to the finish line. And just 10 meters before the finish line, his father let go of Derek so that he goes and finishes this race all by himself. He must have not won the medal for that event and in that Olympic, but he won 65,000 people standing and giving him that standing ovation. Moments like this are rare in a sportsman's life, and this only comes when you have wonderful support from your family. So, be it an Olympic game or an inter-school competition, the kind of affection and feeling and warmth and safety that is granted by a parent, sibling, or maybe a friend does a lot of when you are an athlete. And I realize a very important thing, that whenever you are low in life and things are taking a downslide, you aren't sure of what's going to happen next. The most comforting vibes are instilled within you when there is someone around you for support and encouragement. And having somebody like this is what makes an athlete what he is or she is today. Well, in my early days, when I was young, my parents had no clue about football or that one could make a career out of football. It was only my brother who had all that support, and he trusted, and he was the only one who stood by me whenever I made those decisions of playing football. It wasn't a fair decision then, which my parents thought, because of no sporting background at all in my family. And but that didn't stop me from pushing myself, throwing myself on the field and going and playing the sport. And I enjoyed every bit of it. And to be fair, uh, my brother did support me every now and then whenever I would get uh, some questions thrown at me by my father or by my mother, because there was sometimes I would compromise my education because of football. But that didn't stop me from playing. I kept playing, I kept going for training, and I started excelling in football, and it really helped me. Important part of my life was when I had to make a decision of playing football, how it all started for me. My first selection was when I was young, and I was around 10, 11 years old. I had gone for a selection trial where I was invited by one of those associations, and I thought I was good enough among the whole group, but I was rejected. It was the hardest feeling at that moment when you're a 10, 11-year old. You don't know how to manage your feelings. So I was I just didn't have anybody at that moment. So I just came quiet back home, and I couldn't share it with my dad or with my mom. The only one I remember speaking was to my brother, and he just gave me a tap on my back and he said, like, it's all right. I mean, there's more to come. So keep working. Um, I let go of that and I just kept playing football, like, because I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the sport so much. So I continued my footballing journey, my playing journey, and I got an opportunity when I was 14. There was selection trials. That was actually my second uh, football trials, I can say, a selection opportunity to represent Maharashtra. I'd been for the selection for 5 days, and for 5 days I didn't get an opportunity to go on the pitch because I saw the coach already had a list on his in his hands, and I kind of thought, let me knock, just before I leave without saying anything. Let me ask the coach for an opportunity. And I went to the coach on the fifth day, and I told him that for 5 days I didn't uh, get any opportunity to try out. Why don't you try me out? So the coach looked at me, and he just felt probably at that moment that someone is come and is questioning me that he didn't get an opportunity. Let me give him a try. And he did give me that opportunity. He looked at the referee who was playing that game, and he just said, extend 5 minutes more and give this guy an opportunity. I went on the pitch, and to my good luck, the ball came to my feet at that very moment, and I don't know what happened. I just dribbled past all the players that were in front of me, and I scored. But I was sure that that's it. I mean, I'm not going to be selected because the team list was ready. I could feel it around me. But I was just happy that I had that 5 minute moment. I got my opportunity, and I just came out happy for 5 minutes. And as the coach read out the team list, I was not on that list, and I started walking off. But the coach suddenly called me, and he said, "Hey, come here. And what's your name?" And I told him, "I'm Alex." "And where do you live?" I said, "I live in Dadar." So he said, "Why don't you come? I want you to come tomorrow as well." I was excited to just find out that, okay, so I've got another opportunity. The coach has called me. So I attended for the next 15 days, and I just felt that in those 15 days, I could really be myself, and I could express myself on the field. And uh, to my good luck, I must say that I became the captain of that team, the Maharashtra under 16 team, and I represented that team in Delhi, and we had a wonderful tournament. That was a moment where I felt that if one is given an opportunity, I mean, you can do a hell lot of good for yourself. And I didn't give in. Whenever I didn't get that opportunity, I kept knocking. So I felt good about myself. And my life began from there as a footballer. So I did well. I was the highest scorer in that tournament in Delhi. I got selected for Tata Football Academy, and one of the best academies in the country during that time. And I was exposed to the best players in the country when I joined Tata Football Academy in Jamshedpur. And those 2 years helped me to polish my skills, and I was under some wonderful coaches there, and who influenced me and brought in a certain drive in me, and made me understand that for me to be there is I had to earn that position. I had to earn my space there, and there was not a single day that I didn't work hard. I had to fight for every day to survive there, and it was the best moments of my life, I can say, at a very beginning that I got that opportunity. I met a few coaches there who really made a huge difference in my life. One coach I would name is Mohammad Habib. He was a football great by himself, and I was always in awe when I looked at him. His presence, his aura, and having a leader like him, having a coach like him, I just wanted to be like him. And every word that he said, everything, anything that he said to me was like I believed him next to God. So as a footballer, when you have a coach that you believe, and he instilled one belief in our whole team, that nobody could beat us. So we go back a long way with those kind of thoughts, and I can still think of so many instances. So as a coach, Coach Habib was someone like a parent to me, and he would encourage the whole team, and he just made us feel like though we were away from our parents, and we didn't have family with us, he was more like a father to us. He would yell at us, scream at us, but when he had to show affection, he did that. He stood by us. There was a moment where I can share. I had a very bad injury. I was knocked down by a player from a different team we were playing, and I had a very bad injury, and I had to be rushed to the hospital because I had a broken nose. and I had to be operated immediately. So they went on with that with the operation, and as soon as I got conscious, I just felt that I had no nose on me. So it was quite weird at that moment when you're young and you don't feel anything. And I was all uh, patched up on my nose, and all my players, my teammates, they came to the hospital to see me. They were like family to me at that moment, and they would just make fun of me. And my coach walks in to see me, and I could feel that consciousness that was whenever he walked in, I would just freeze. Just that I respected him so much that I would just wait to hear some words from him. And he asked me one question like, how long will it take you to get on the pitch? And I told him I'm not aware of it. He said, if you're not aware of it, you need to get yourself on the pitch as soon as possible. So I said, yeah, I'll come back once this bandages are off. And Mohammad Habib was like, okay, training is tomorrow at 8 in the morning. And at that moment, I just felt like, yeah, the coach has called me at 8 in the morning. I need to go. And that's what I told the doctors. And they weren't sure whether I was joking or I was serious, but I was damn serious. And next morning, I remember I ran off the hospital and I went on the pitch, and I was standing there. But Mohammad Habib didn't allow me because since the hospital ward boys they were chasing me. I wasn't aware, but they knew that I'm from Tata Football Academy. They came in search of me and they found me there, and they told me I can't get on the pitch. I need to rest. And this was a moment where that belief when you have in a coach who wants the best for you, or what I felt at that moment. Sometimes I think it's funny, but sometimes I think about it and I feel that things like this makes you keep thinking about how important how much of sacrifice can an athlete make. And we I went on to play some tournaments. After that, I was told that for 6 months I can't play, but that didn't stop me. I continued training. I went on. I used to stuff gauze in my nose because it would keep bleeding every time I jogged or I ran. But if I would stop within those 6 months to rest for 6 months, it was as good as game over for me. I had to just give up when it comes to football, but I didn't want to do that. I was ready to accept any consequences, and I just took that risk. It helped me. My family was not aware of it, but my coach was. He understood, but the first person I told was my brother about my operated nose, and he was furious. He was not too happy about what happened, all those incidents. But he found me growing stronger, and he kept supporting me during all this while. And it is a beautiful moment for me to understand that I had someone to make sure that whether I do good or bad, there is somebody who's there behind me to let me know, and that was my brother always. And at the same time, when you have someone from the family not understanding you as an athlete, it does get difficult because you start thinking that what if my brother was not there. Sometimes you get inclined towards a bit of negativity as well because you need constant support. So I had many instances in my life, like I had some really good friends who were very supportive and who were very competitive, and they always wanted to compete with me, and I enjoyed that, and that made my drive. I just wanted to be the best at every moment, and every time I went on the field, I wanted to be the best on the field. So my drive for the sport was something that kept me going, and I never give up at any point. And I had my highs and lows, but I didn't allow them. I allowed myself to get exposed, but my to my highs, but my lows, I didn't allow them to overcome because I tried to overcome my lows and get better every time I was on the pitch. there are a lot of instances that I would like to share as a coach, and one more experience that I had was it's a touching experience, and it's something that I would like to share. One of my players, um, who lost her mother, and she was in the camp for the first time. This 15-year-old girl, and she got the news during the camp that her mother is no more. And it wasn't a great sight for all of us, and we were not too happy about the incident. So I spoke to her, and she said, like, no, I'm not leaving the camp. I want to stay with the team. And having players like this in your team, I just felt at that very night, and I spoke. In the evening, I went to her and I sat down. I said, "You still can go, and I'll invite you back to the camp. You don't have to worry. You can go, pay your final visits, and complete the rituals and come back." But she was like, no. She was adamant that she wanted to stay with the team, and she stayed on. And it was great to see this player who has so much dedication for the sport. That night I went back to my room, and I was just thinking. I just saw myself in that player, and I thought to myself, like, this is what I was when I was a bit younger, and this is what I would have done. But the moment, what I felt was the moment for the player to feel that way is there should be a reason. But she found a lot of affection in our team. She's found a lot of support that she got, what I probably thought she would have got at home, but she felt that she would get it here to make her a stronger person that she can be, rather than go home and be vulnerable. And all respects to such decision made, and it's great to see that the young players and young athletes of this generation are making such wonderful decisions. And the only way we can support all of them is by encouraging them, by being that friend, being that brother, being that sister, being that parent to these type of athletes, so that they can excel in their sport. I really look forward to having a great year, and 2020 wasn't a great year for all of us, but I wish all of you a wonderful 2021, and stay safe, and stay happy.